Hello, fellow mothers. My name is Sage, and I am a neurospicy stay-at-home mom to two toddlers. I am on a mission to improve my life and subsequently improve the lives of my children, and I'm going to be sharing my wins and learning experiences with you guys on here. If you end up enjoying this video, it would mean the absolute world to me if you would like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so that you can be the first to know every time I post a new video. When my second kid was born, I was just a little bit shell-shocked. My husband went back to work when I was just about 1 week postpartum, and I have quite literally no village. So here I was trying to figure out how to navigate the demands of both my very needy newborn and my curious and often mischievous 14-month-old all on my own. To keep things very real with you, I felt like I was stumbling through life like 4 steps behind for about the first 6 months of my second baby's life. Because of the way that my brain operates, I've always been very schedule averse. Having a strict timeline, even if it was only self-imposed, gave me a huge amount of anxiety. And having kids only intensified this for me because now I was not solely responsible for managing my time. I had to manage the oftentimes unpredictable needs of my kids as well. However, going at life with absolutely no plan at all was not working for me either. That was why I was feeling like I was constantly behind and always forgetting things. Slowly but surely though, I began to notice a pattern. When I would do things in a certain order, everything would go so much smoother. Take getting out of the house, for example. So if I would have gotten my youngest dressed and in his car seat first, my oldest would have spent that time that I was getting my youngest ready, just like running around, probably getting into things that she shouldn't have been getting into and just generally being kind of feral. So I would have to stop and redirect her several times while I was in the middle of the task that I was already doing. That would make things take longer, it would be frustrating for both me and her. Then my youngest would be getting upset because he was strapped into his car seat while I was getting his big sister ready. It felt hectic and clunky, and it made me dread leaving the house every single time. Plus, the chaos and the crying that was going on was completely interrupting my focus, which would lead to me forgetting important things like the library books that needed to be dropped off, or a packed snack, or extra wipes, or any of the other number of things that parents of little kids need to be bringing along with them. So I decided that I needed to come up with an order of operations, or a workflow. Since we're using getting out of the house as an example, this is what my workflow for that looks like. Step 1 is to take a pause and reflect on where we're going, what we're going to need for this outing, and any little things that I need to tie up and finish before we get out of the house. This is also the time that I make any necessary notes in my planner. So if we're going to the grocery store, I'll be making sure to double check my fridge, make sure that I have my grocery list with me. This is the time to do that. Step number 2 is to potty my daughter Shep and get her dressed and get her a car snack or a toy. Step number 3 is to take her out to the car and get her buckled in her car seat. I live pretty rurally, so I do take my kids out to the car first. If I lived in a city or something like that, I wouldn't do that, but I can see them from my house. They're fine, I promise. I cloth diaper when I'm at home, but I use disposable diapers when I'm out and about, so I keep the disposables in my car so that I'm not tempted to use them at home. So while I'm out there putting my oldest in the car, I grab a disposable diaper for her brother. Step number 4 is to dress and change Denali, my youngest. We do a quick nursing session, literally 2 or 3 minutes, just to top him off and make sure that he's feeling real good. I take him out and buckle him in his car seat. Step number 5, I come inside and use the bathroom really quick. I grab any of the things that I gathered at the first step that need to come with me, and I also make sure to grab any baby carriers that I will need during this trip. And boom! All done with minimal fuss. The kids didn't have any unsupervised time just running free to get into things and make big messes. Having them both out in the car while I quick grab everything that I need means that I was able to do that super fast without being interrupted. Everyone stays so much calmer, and I am so much less likely to forget things that I need to bring with me. And this takes way less time because I never have to double back to complete a step that I had forgotten to do. I always know what's coming next, and that is what makes this so efficient. I also know that this almost always takes 15 to 20 minutes to complete because I've been timing it so that it makes it easier for me to plan my day. So if I know that I need to be pulling out of the driveway at 4 p.m., I know that I need to start this workflow at around 3:40. I've struggled a bit with time blindness in the past, so if I have a little bit of foresight, I will set some alarms on my phone. So I like to set one for about 15 minutes before I need the workflow to start, and then at the time that I need the workflow to start. That way I have a little bit of like preparation in my mind, like I know that I need to get started and I can start gearing my mind towards that before like it's actually time to get started. This has really helped me to be more time conscious and spend a lot less time rushing around and being late to things. However, that's only one example of a workflow. I have one for like morning time and making breakfast, one for nap time, and one for like bedtime and like the immediate post bedtimes period. Obviously, life is variable, so sometimes I am not able to stick to my workflows as much as I would like to, but like that is to be expected and is 100% okay. So what makes a workflow any different from like a schedule, routine, or rhythm? That is a great question and one that I don't have like a fantastically clear answer to. In my mind, all of those things are a little bit more defined by like a timetable. Although I like to time some of my workflows so that I have a general idea of how long they take, I never have like a dedicated time slot to each task, if that makes sense. I think that is like largely what was stressing me out with like schedules and routines. Anytime one task would take longer than its like allotted time slot, it would make me feel very anxious and like the rest of it had just been completely messed up. This is more of like a checklist, so I know that if I want this result, I need to take these steps to get there with minimal fuss. Okay, so let's talk about how you can make your own workflows to simplify your daily life. The first part is simply to pay attention to your daily routines and habits. What part of your day feels sticky or makes you feel a sense of dread or just doesn't flow as nicely as you would like it to? The next step is to think strategically about it. How could you move those tasks around to make things flow more easily? Are there any tasks that you could stack so that you can get more done in less time? The third step is experimentation. Take a couple of days and move tasks around, making sure to take careful notes of what is working and what is not. And don't be afraid to keep experimenting until you find a system and a workflow that works best for you. From here, it depends on you if you even want to do anything extra. Depending on how complicated your workflow is, you could write it down somewhere or you could simply try to keep track of the steps in your mind. If you choose to do the latter, it might help to come up with some sort of acronym to help you remember the steps and the order that you're supposed to take them in. And if you're writing it out, you have a ton of options. It could be as simple as putting a checklist in the Notes app of your phone, or you could write it up in Word and print it out. Or it could be as elaborate and creative as like painting something out and framing it or putting it on your refrigerator. The last thing to keep in mind is to hold on to these workflows pretty loosely. As seasons change and our children grow, our lives can change rather rapidly, and our workflows are going to need to reflect that. So the workflow that worked for you last December is not going to be the same one that works for you this July, at least not with some pretty big tweaks. I think that the transition seasons, fall and spring, are a great time to look over your workflows, clean them up a bit, and take out anything that is no longer working for your life. Maybe add in tasks that are now necessary as well. It's spring right now, and I'm definitely looking over all of my workflows and seeing ways that I can change them to fit my life better. If you feel like this concept resonates with you and you decide to make your own workflow, I would absolutely love to hear about it. Also, if you feel stuck in a particular situation and you're not sure how to create a workflow that works for it, feel free to bring that up in the comments, and me and any other commenters can help you brainstorm some new ideas to help with a sticky situation. And that's all I have for today, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to chatting with you guys again next Friday.